something one time. Call the meeting to order. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and the city in which we live. Guide us this evening as we make our decisions. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, this is the regular meeting of the Noonan City Council, September the 26th, 2023. You have the minutes of the meeting of September the 12th, 2023. I'll entertain a motion. We adopt those minutes.
Second.
Motion is second. We adopt the minutes as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Reports from boards and commissions this evening. We've got two there, and I'd like those to be placed on our next agenda, if you don't mind. Would like to go ahead and welcome Scout Dylan Spivey, who is with us this evening. Mr. Spivey, welcome. We appreciate you being here. Mr. Spivey is with Troop 57, and he is here tonight for satisfying his citizenship in the community badge. Good luck on your road to Eagle. Thank you. We also have the members of the Noonan Youth Council who are here this evening, and Ms. Jenkins is going to do us the pleasure of announcing.
We have with us this evening, as I call your name, please stand, Helena Gibson, 11th grader at Northgate, Naomi Kraft, 10th grader at East Coweta High School, Nisha Reddy, 11th grader, Northgate, Isabella Scarano, who is the Northgate rep, and she's an 11th grader at Noonan High, Ria Patel, 10th grade, Noonan High, Jordan Guy, 10th grade, East Coweta. Thank you for coming.
Welcome one and all. We appreciate your being here tonight and your service on the Noonan Youth Council. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda this evening is to ask our Mr. Phillips if he has anything. I don't have anything this evening. Under new business, intergovernmental agreement between the City of Noonan, Coweta County, and the Tax Commissioner for the purpose of collecting property taxes. You're all very aware of what this agreement is in the past. You got any questions? Yeah. Any questions of Mr. Phillips? He's here to answer. If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. We approve the intergovernmental agreement between the City of Noonan, Coweta County, and the Tax Commissioner for the purpose of collecting taxes. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Thank you. The next item is a presentation recommendations from MSI Benefits 2024 City of Noonan Employee Benefits Program. Mr. Phillips.
Mayor, Council, you may call John Leggett with MSI Benefits. John's been with us, I think now this is,
So it's 2021? 2020, yeah.
they're our insurance broker, and they've been doing us an excellent job. Work really closely with Ms. Lynette and the HR department. John's going to go over a brief presentation on how the insurance has been performing and some recommendations for our renewals for 2024. So, John?
Thank you.
Mr. Leggett, how are you this evening?
I'm great. How's everyone doing?
Good. Very good.
Thanks for having me here.
Appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. So again, John Leggett with MSI Benefits Group, and you know, there's you may have a copy of this. It's hard to see on the screen. This is the 2023 Total Health Plan spend. There's a lot of numbers on here. The thing I want to focus on is the total spend, which I'll look at it on mine. The total spend so far through the year is just under $4 million, just over $3.9 million. And then you can see some of the bullets there. We had a high August. We've only had one stop loss claim. Pharmacy claims have been about 21% of the overall spend, and the reason I bring that up is when I'll talk about the marketing later, it's common to see higher than that, but pharmacy claims have been just a smaller percentage here than we've seen at other employers. Our average monthly claims this year is up, so we're having a kind of a higher year in medical claims. So when you look at the claim spend, it is up about 46% through this part of the year compared to last. Even with that, I think we've got a very good renewal and recommendation on the table. Our overall average net cost is also up about 34% so far this year compared to 2022. You go to the next slide.
John, I've got a quick question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you go back to the previous slide.
Yes.
You said medical claims up 46% compared to 2022. Pharmacy, is that up 2.44%? Is it up over 2022? Is that what that means?
So which number are you pointing at?
Well, it's the second to the last line. It says pharmacy 2.4.
Oh, pharmacy's up just about 2.5% on the year
Okay.
compared to last year.
Okay,
Correct.
thank
I'm sorry. did skip over that. So the bulk of the increase is on the medical side, which come and go. You know, you have good years and bad years, and we're in the middle of just a higher claim year than what we saw last year and the year before.
Thank you.
This next page, the number to look at on there is the bottom right, 95%. So we're running at 95% of the aggregate, which the numbers generally about 80% is our goal. So we're about 15% above our expected claim liability. So it just goes with the whole increase in medical claims for this year. Last year, we ran just under 80. So, you know, when you look at your claims for your health plan, you're going to have, out of every 5 years, you're going to have 2 bad years or 2 years that are up, and then you hope to have the good years. The benefit of being self-insured is when you do have those good years, you reap the rewards. And when you have the bad years, if you're fully insured, that's when you get the big premium increases. So we're not looking at a big premium increase, and we're going to really hope that the claims improve. And generally speaking, they do, because medical claims, for a lot of times, they come and go. Someone has something that happens, they go in, they get it treated, and hopefully they get better, and those claims go away. So it's just a year where we've had a lot of claims on the books. This is kind of how the health plan's made up right now. As you know, we now have Cigna as the third-party administrator, the TPA, and with Cigna, we get their network. They own Express Scripts, which is the PBM, the pharmacy benefit manager, and they also manage the stop-loss insurance, the reinsurance. So all of that is currently with Cigna, and how the plan is made up. This is our 3 plans that are currently offered. You can see we have a good mix between the 3 plans that are offered. We refer to them as bronze, silver, and gold. So 87 employees on the bronze, 108 on the silver plan, and 70 on the gold plan. And when you look at the current deductions that come out twice a month, and you total that up annually, the city's collecting about $431,000 from employees that are enrolled in the plan. So you'll see that number here in a second. So we're not recommending any changes to the plan design or to the deductions. So we went to market this year, and we looked to see what can we do if we get away from Cigna and go with an independent TPA and start carving some things out. When you go back to, I call them the Olympic rings that I had on that previous page. So, okay, what if we move the TPA to another provider? What if we carve the stop loss out and look at different pharmacy coverage? And so we attempted to do that, and we did go to market. And what you see under option 1 is our best option. But with Cigna, we did get the renewal, and we pushed back several times, and these are the best and final numbers that they were able to give us. So right now, our fixed premium that we pay for administration is going up slightly from $146,000 to $149,000. Our stop loss coverage that is currently with Cigna is currently at $451,000, and the increase there is about 9.5%, going to $494,000. So our total premium that we pay to Cigna to administer our plan and for our stop loss coverage is going from just under $600,000 to about $643,000. Those are, of course, annual numbers. And then you come below, one of the benefits, again, of being self-insured is that you receive pharmacy rebates. So depending on the drugs that are filled, drug rebates are paid back to the city. And for the current year, the estimated rebate total is going to be about $297,000 that's going to be coming back to the city. And the estimated number for 2024 has increased to about $423,000. So the city's going to see right around $423,000 back in rebates, and that's paid annually, generally in March. So when you total those numbers, then you go below that, you see the expected claim liability. So we're looking at about just over $5 million for the current year. So that's the expected total. That's going up about 9.5% to about 5.5. When you factor in the employee deductions, you subtract that out. You look at the bottom line number is we're going from about 4.9 million to about 5.3 is the anticipated increase for 2024, keeping everything as is. Now, when I look over to the right, when we look at option 1, Meritain is an independent TPA. They're owned by Aetna, but they act as an independent TPA. So we looked at, and we went to market on the stop loss, and Swiss Re was our most competitive there. And they came in about 10.5% below Cigna. But when you come down below and you see, you'll see the total premium that's going to $643,000 for Cigna, and where it would be with Meritain is about $578,000. If you go below that, you'll see the Veracity logo. Veracity would be under this arrangement would be the pharmacy benefit manager, so of course no longer Cigna, and we would use the Aetna network. The Veracity contract or proposal they gave us estimated a savings of about $437,000. So with Cigna's rebates, it was minor there. It was about, what is that, I'm doing math, $14,000 difference in the pharmacy cost there. Then you go below and you see the expected claim liability under Aetna through Veracity. That was about a 12.5% increase, so a little bit above Cigna. When you add all that together and you keep the deductions the same, if we were to move to Veracity, we'd see a slight savings. It's about $253,000 versus the $400,000, but it's with being so close there, that's a major change, getting away from Cigna and going with an independent TPA. That normally, when you're within that percentage, when you're that close, it most of the time makes sense to stay with Cigna unless there are service issues or network issues or something like that. So the recommended option, as you'll see in the note there, is to remain with Cigna. We really thought we would see some savings on the pharmacy by doing this carve out, but because Cigna came in with a stronger rebate for the city, that kind of evened it out and brought them a little bit closer.
Quick question for you. On the stop-loss carrier, if we were to move strictly to, I don't know if you can even do that, like divorce it from, kind of keep it separate from the TPA, but just do the Swiss Re to save that?
That's a great question, and I should have told you this. So due to the city's size, Cigna, Anthem, the carriers will not allow you to carve certain things out. It's a package deal. If you go with Cigna, you get all of their products, you get their stop loss and their pharmacy. So that was the main reason for looking at an independent TPA, so we could focus on the stop loss and look at different pharmacy vendors as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other questions of Mr. Leggett? Any questions of Mr. Phillip?
We do have some optional information we need to do real quick. If you want to do that.
I'm sorry?
Optional programs real quick.
Oh, sure. I'm gonna. So, being self-insured, we have the ability to go to several stop-loss markets. These are some of the markets we looked at. We're down to about 4 different insurance companies in the Atlanta area. But when you're self-insured, you do have multiple stop-loss carriers, and we did go to these. And again, Swiss Re was the most competitive. We also went to market on the dental, and we were looking at an increase with Cigna. And as you may recall, before the city moved to Cigna, we had Delta Dental out here. And so we asked Delta for a quote, and they did come in and match the rates and what is in place now with Cigna. So it's it will be a savings to employees as a voluntary benefit, and they did match the benefits as well. We also looked at doing a 4-tier model, which is where you have employee only, employee spouse, children, and family, versus the way it is now where it's just employee only or family. And it made sense to keep the 2-tier model because those with family would have seen a bigger increase. So the recommended option is to move from Cigna on the dental over to Delta Dental.
Any questions on this move?
I'm sorry.
Recommended move. All right.
Okay. Now we're to the Vision. Vision, we again went to market. Standard, which you'll see here in a minute, Standard gave us the most competitive Vision quote. We're not seeing an increase with Cigna. Because we're keeping the medical with Cigna, we recommend to keep the Vision with Cigna. So no change to the Vision benefits or the cost.
Okay.
And then we got to the life insurance. So we went to market. It's currently with MetLife. We were not looking at an increase, but we went to market to see what we could find and what we could bring back. And we did get a competitive proposal from the Standard. And so if you notice, the middle option there is the basic life insurance is paid for by the city. Every full-time employee receives $50,000 in life insurance. It's paid for. And the city's annual cost for that right now is about just over $44,000. The Standard came in and they were about 30% below, and the premium that they quoted was $31,000. So we went back to the Standard and said, well, you've got such a good rate. What if we improved the policy? What would the rates look like? So we asked them for a offering of 1 times annual salary, minimum $50,000. So any employee with over a $50,000 salary will have more benefit. And the actual numbers came in right on top of where they are now. So everybody will still remain to receive the $50,000 that they're getting now if they make less than that. But let's say somebody makes $60,000, they're going to have $60,000 in life insurance. It's 1 times annual salary. So we're recommending option 2. There's still a savings to the city, and it's going to benefit a lot of employees that of course make more than $50,000, and no one's going to lose any benefit. In addition to that, we have voluntary life insurance, and we asked the Standard what they would do there. They did match the rates with MetLife, so there's no change in rates, but they sweetened the deal a little bit by saying, okay, we're going to grant a one-time open enrollment for any employee that wants this coverage during this enrollment. They can add it with no medical underwriting. I think over the years, there's probably been some employees that have applied and been declined because they do ask medical questions. But any employee that wants to add it for the first time or increase it from what they have now up to $150,000 will be able to do that with Standard during this open enrollment. So we thought that was a big deal. And so by improving the basic life and that on the voluntary life, we're making the recommendation to move to the Standard and do the option 2 one-time salary. Any questions?
Anyone?
Of course, there's a savings to the city. And then we get into the disability. This is voluntary benefits as well. The city has short and long-term disability. There's a savings to employees with the Standard compared to MetLife. The rates were not going up. They did match the benefits. So this would be a savings to employees by moving, of course, the disability over to the Standard as well. The cost is very similar on the long term, but again, same benefits. So because we're moving the life to the Standard and because of the savings on the short term, we're making the recommendation to move the disability over to the Standard as well. The next 3 slides are all accident, critical illness, and hospital indemnity plans. Currently with MetLife, you'll see that the option to the right of MetLife is Aflac. Of course, we're not too far from Columbus, and everybody knows Aflac because of the duck. So we went to market on this. We actually looked at some Cigna plans, but we're making the recommendation to move from MetLife on all 3 of these plans over to Aflac. And you'll notice, like, very first plan there, accident plan, it's better coverage, a little bit of a price increase, but I think people just feel better with Aflac knowing the brand rather than with Met. So the recommendation is on the accident, critical illness, to move that from Met over to Aflac. And then also the hospital indemnity plan would be a new plan that's not currently offered. This is a plan where employees, if any employee or covered member goes into the hospital, they can file for reimbursement. They get $1,000 reimbursed back to them, and it pays them for every day they're in there up to $150 a day. So it would help employees cover their costs while they're out of work and help them pay, their insurance bills. So we're making the recommendation to also add this.
Sounds like the Aflac commercial, doesn't it?
I know it. If you get hurt, it won't hurt, you miss work. What do Yogi Bear say? And then the last change here is that we're recommending is a change from Cigna on the flexible spending account, the FSA. Move that to Admin America. We had some problems with Cigna, just to be frank, administering the plan. And MSI has many governments that are run their FSA through Admin America. The admin cost is actually a little bit lower than Cigna, and everybody that enrolls in this will get a new ID, will get a new debit card. But the plan works a lot better. Yes.
How many employees actually participate in that?
I had the number on there. I believe it's just under 100.
That's good. Okay.
107. I have it on there?
107.
Hey. Oh, there you go. Yeah, 107. So a lot of people take advantage of it, and Admin America does a really good job at managing that program. So the recommended options are all noted there. Went over each one, but so renewing the medical with Cigna, changing the dental to Delta, keeping the vision with Cigna, moving the life and disability to the Standard, and then adding Aflac and moving over to Admin America. These are the recommended options for the 2024 plan year.
Now, that's the entire report, I believe. Are there any questions of Mr. Leggett? Okay, so the motion would be to accept his report and also to authorize a change of carriers coverage and no change to the employee health payroll contributions for 2024. If anyone is ready to make that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Everybody know where we are? Any questions?
When is it effective?
January
1 January?
1 January.
Yeah.
January.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Mr. Leggett.
Thank you, guys.
The next item on the agenda today is a consideration of a contract award of 401K or a 401A defined benefit plan, contribution plan and a 457B deferred compensation plan. Mr. Norton, how are you?
Good, Mr. Mayor. Hope you and council are doing good as well. I'm here representing the pension committee. Ms. Megan, Ms. Nanette, they're also on the committee. But we were tasked to look at a 401A plan for recruitment purposes and that sort of thing. So that's what this is about. And while we were doing the 401A, we decided to include the 457 to see if we were being treated right or, you know, what the market said. So if y'all got any questions, be glad to answer them, or I have experts behind me that can answer them. That's a whole lot smarter than I am.
This is to award the contract after going out on the RFP for just to design the plan, and then they'll bring that plan back to us for approval.
That is correct. This is just so we can have the vehicle to put the plan in.
That's right. Put the plan together, bring it back for approval.
I'll
Any
make that motion.
question?
Second.
Motion is second. We award the contract as recommended by staff. And
And this is for both the 457 and the 401?
that's
right?
correct.
Correct.
Yep,
Yes.
so we're bundling together. All right.
Right. Any other questions or comments? Have a motion is second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Mr. Norton.
Thank you.
No unfinished business tonight under visitors. The first is a request for Temple Avenue neighborhood for the annual Halloween street closures. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion second, we close the streets in College Temple neighborhood for Halloween. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, motion carried. The next is a request from the Noonan High School Band Boosters to close Army Road on November the 4th for the annual band competition. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion is second, we approve the request from NHS Band Boosters to close Army Road November the 4th for the annual band competition. Any discussion?
There's no problem with that on it's a Saturday, not a whole lot of traffic.
Any other comments or discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carried. Mayor Pro Tem Corretco, could you read a motion to take us into executive session, please?
Yes, sir.
For
Thank you.
legal?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I now move that we enter into closed session as followed by OCGA Section 50, TAC 14, TAC 4, and pursuant to advice by the city attorney for the purpose of discussing legal, and that we in open session adopt a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor or presiding officer to execute an affidavit in compliance with OCGA Section 50, TAC 14, TAC 4, and that this body ratify the actions of the council taken in closed session and confirm that the subject matters of the closed session were within exceptions permitted by the open meetings law.
Second.
Motion is second, we go into executive session for a legal matter. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, motion carried. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, we're adjourned from the regular meeting in executive session.